Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Terrell from Terrell03.com. Today's Tuesday. It's June 9th, 2026. It's 1:02 p.m. Central Time here in Ozarks. The first thing I need to do is make a correction. Yesterday I made a statement. I was praying about it later and realized that I said something that was just wrong. The About silver yesterday. I said that I had never sold any silver, and what I meant was because just saying it like that is not true. I have not sold any survival silver since I've returned to Arkansas in March of 2020. Now, as I've said many times earlier, particularly back in 2011, before 2011, during 2011, when I came here the first time, then I got hold of some silver and I did sell. Bought in the teens and sold, it was around 32 and did very well. And that helped me in my survival preps at the time back then. And so I wanted to straighten that out. Next, if you're following me on Substack, and you should be, make sure you're subscribed over at Terrell.substack.com. Then a series of events took place this morning with Nancy and with Karen, and I started looking around and going, "Oh my God, look at that! Look at that! Look at that!" And let's see, before I get into that, just yesterday that I realized after the report that I didn't show you Earthquake 3D. And the special's still going for your nano silver. Get your orders in by 8 a.m. Friday morning. You'll get your tracking number Friday afternoon. Delivers will be 15th and the 16th of next week. I'm trying to remember to do everything today. Earthquake 3D had 7.8 and didn't show you. There's going to be a little bit of confusion. I'm realizing now after posting my post and what's appears in the newsletter about the near side alignment quake event. This quake right here struck on the Black Star Sun center line. Well, it's a 6.1. There are some 6-pointers on the Black Star event timeline. There's not a 6.1. And even this quake struck just a little bit early. And this quake here, 7.8, struck quite a bit early. And it's going to, whenever, if you look at the alignments as a gravitational gravity well speed bump, then these quakes are striking too early. Now that's based on data. I didn't have a near side quake last cycle, didn't have one the cycle before. I'm using data from 2021-22 and supposing, hypothesizing, theorizing that the black star is moving around the sun now locked in a circular orbit. Therefore, things should be like regular, really, really regular, and they're just not. And the bottom line is going to be something I realized that I did not get into the post that you guys have watching my Black Star Upstate reports is this is not a gravitational gravity well speed bump type deal that we're crossing the Earth. What's going on is, and I should have a different picture. I don't want to move these pictures. This is from Solar System Scope. It takes a lot of effort to get the right zoom in the right place. And you touch anything, everything moves. But I got the snapshot. This is the picture, and this is from 12 hours later, minus 2 minutes. And if you're wondering why 2 minutes, it's explained in my post. If you go exactly 12 hours, you don't get you're not exactly on the same line. And it's all explained. There's a difference in the, anyway. It's kind of complicated to explain. It's because we're going around the sun. So whenever the Earth is rotating, then to get on the same exact line, then we have to subtract 2 minutes for the stars. For 12 hours, 4 minutes for 36 for a 360-degree turn of the Earth, 24 hours. So the Earth doesn't spin exactly one rotation in 24 hours, like people think, because we're moving around the sun. So there's a difference. And I do share the link and even an image and everything in the post to make that. But you can see right here with the Earth and the sun, and this is, let me show you the other one first. See this right here. See how small the Earth is? I can't show you that picture. This is the exact moment within seconds of the quake striking. And you can see Ophiuchus back here. Scorpio is right here. And I'm not going to move it yet. But the black star sun center line is right here. So that's always moving with the black star as it's moving around left in the orbit diagram prograde fashion. The Earth passes between the two stars. This is the moment that this event happened. Now this is not, again, now I'm getting back to where I started. Something that I've learned over the years, more than a decade now, is that this is not a speed bump deal. This is an electromagnetic deal. This is like putting two electric wires together. And what you're going to predict is when the arc is going to happen. You have live wires, and as you're bringing them together, together, eventually you're going to arc. But when's it going to happen? It depends. Put more energy, all right, and you're nearing proximity, and it's going to happen sooner. Make less energy, and it's going to happen as the wires get closer and closer together. So as we're coming around the sun, we have varying things that are happening. There's different things in the environment and in the amount of energy that's crossing through the magnetic polar connections and their proximity. There's a different number of a percentage of internal conduits that are happening, so that you have an outer, you have inactive, passive magnetic portal connection inner conduits. They're like pipes. The outer perimeter is inactive. It's like insulating wire. It's the plastic on an insulation wire is what it is. The internal part is active. That's the copper wires. That's carrying the charge. Those are extended. They're distended. Whenever particularly as the black star gets closer and closer, those active conduits that they grow in diameter, and they're pushing on the external conduits. So as we're getting closer together, those magnetic polar connections, particularly the sun black star magnetic polar connection, is losing its insulation properties, the outer passive conduits. So you have variables in the equation. I can see them in my mind. I haven't drawn everything out. And so sometimes the strike, as the black star gets closer, then we should anticipate that the wires are not as well insulated, and as they get closer together, they're going to happen sooner than previous orbit cycles whenever the passive inactive conduits are providing greater insulation. So that's inside my mind as I'm looking at the modeling go, and it's churning away, and I see it for 2011, 12, 13, 14, and I'm seeing have the data in my mind, and seeing the connections, and these magnetic polar connections connect and disconnect on regular cycles based on proximity. So you have converging magnetic polar connections that's happening now. So now that I've shown you this, and we can back off, we can look at the Earth, and you can see the Earth is between the sun and Scorpio. Exactly. Even though you were looking at Ophiuchus, is because I had the way I had it tipped down like this. See, Scorpio right here. This is at the exact time of the epicenter of the quake. So I keep telling you the black star is between the sun and the center of Scorpio, and you can see the center of Scorpio is right there. So it's happening. It happened just a little bit earlier than expected. But again, it's because it's the insulation properties are being lost. On the black star is here, and we're passing between them. So we likely had magnetopause fluctuations because of the converging magnetic polar connections. That you get sprite formations, polar-to-polar cross-firing, highly charged ionic clouds, squeezed, compressed between the converging magnetic polar connections, and get at Earth magnetosphere wants to flip around like it did 2012, March 12th and 13th. The Department of Homeland Security, they've utilized, I would anticipate, a sophisticated AI program for doctoring up the magnetosphere simulations. Whenever you're looking at the magnetosphere, you're looking at a simulation, and it's generated. It's supposed to be generated by what's coming from all of the data. But when we're passing between the two stars, you're seeing things like what happened, the magnetopause reversal, and that happened for 2 hours in 2012 before they interrupted the feed. In 2012, they were caught completely by surprise. And we got the 28 hours of the magnetopause reversal. That that GIF, the GIF file is uploaded to the Substack post. So if you go into the links of what I posted today, go to the Michael Snyder link, one of the first ones, then you can right click on that and download that file. You can see how the magnetopause reversed. It happened whenever we were passing between the two stars, just like this. What's happening right now. So should we say that this, I'm still going through all the data, my mind it's churning. And is the 7.8 quake? 7.8 quake is going to be black star induced. For sure. Like the 6.1. Remember on the backside quake, we had the Alaska quake that struck exactly on the Black Star Sun center line. Then the 7.6 Japan quake struck exactly on the Black Star Sun center line. So as the Black Star gets close, remember that was happening 2014 through 2018 like clockwork. Predictable fashion. 2 quakes at the backside alignment, then a pause, then 3, then a pause, then 2. 7 quakes in a sequence. That was because of the growing superplume formation. And magma wave rebound and coalescence and rebound and back to the center of the zone. That's not what's happening here, but because the superplume is now fully developed, I mean, it's fully filled the entire zone now. Back when it was in an infant state, 2015, 16, 17, 18, then what was going on inside the Earth was very predictable as the superplume was small and it was growing. Now it's a totally different deal. So in charting the data, the thing that I'm realizing is I'm not going to be able to incorporate the data for this near side alignment quake into what's happening on the backside. So it's one of the reasons I'm running a little late today. I'm running the calculations. I'm looking from the backside alignment recent. That's December 8th, and then this is June the 8th. It's very regular. It's very, very, very close to just hours from being exactly a half a year. If black star is moving left in the orbit diagram, that should not be happening. So I had a little discussion with AI, and the smaller we have a diminishing amount of time that's passing between these alignments, and the answer is going to be that this is not gravitational. This is not gravitational at all. This has been electromagnetic from the beginning. So the gravity well, the connecting gravity wells between the two stars that were passing through the speed bump, then that's going to play a role, but it's not. It's going to play some role, but it's not the major influence. The major influence is it's according to the electric universe model, plasma cosmology. The whole solar system behaves like a molecule, with the sun being the nucleus, and these orbiting bodies are the electrons. And with resistor, uh, capacitor, switch capabilities, depending on a, a lot of variables in the equation. It depends. Sometimes, well, anyway, sometimes the planets even are storing energy. Sometimes they're releasing energy, and the magnetic polar connections connecting, disconnecting, and crossing and converging, and causes a switch to flip at times. So there's a lot that's happening. Wish I had money and to be able to build a group like we were building back in 2011, 12, and 13, and to be able to finance the a team of people to put all this together, then we could know much, much more. The bottom line for all that is the answer for the backside alignment quake is to use the backside alignment data that's been gathered already. They've been striking like clockwork. December 2nd, December 5th, December 8th, 3 days. It's about 3 days, man. The next one's likely going to be about 3 days with a slightly smaller differential because of what I was just explaining, the magnetic polar connection, passive conduit diminishing capability. That's the answer right there. That sentence right there explains. So I'm going to run the math, and what's the big deal if my predictive modeling, it's running in my head right now, and I'm looking as an observer into it's just doing it by itself, and it's wanting to it spit out different numbers based upon these different variables that I can plug in a different variable and get a different result. And it's going to be about a 3-day differential. We know that. 2nd, 5th, 8th. And then just by looking at the hours, I may tweak that a little bit, but it's the backside alignment quake is going to likely strike on the 11th of December. And memory serving me, then 1800 hours, it's going to be near the end of the evening. It could be early on the 12th, something like that. So I ran the math last time. That's why I was off a day, because I was tweaking everything too much, and it ended up adding enough time to push it from the 8th to the 9th, and so I ran with it, and I was off a day. But it's going to be right December, the end of the day on the 11th, right in there, and we're going to have the backside alignment quake. Is that because of this quake right here? This is going to be electromagnetic, and it was big and powerful, the original jolt right here. And backside alignment quake, what was it, 2, 3 years ago, struck almost this location right here. Before that, we had the Japan quake, the Alaska quake, and before that was it 7.6 Philippines quake. Well, anyway, that's the one that tore the hole in the earth. I think that was 2023. Well, we can know real fast. It's right here. Right here, 7.0 California, 7.6 Philippines, 2023. Yep, the one from December 2nd. That's the one that tore the hole in the sun. So the 2nd, 5th, 8th. This is likely going to be the 11th. The end of the day on the 11th. Okay, so maybe I'll make another post on that. Maybe not. It's pretty plain to me that that's going to be that's going to be right in the ballpark. And probably what I just told you, I should have saved for tomorrow's full Earth change report, but it turns out it turns out to be longer than 2 hours if I try to pack too much into there. So I want to give some of that today. Tuesday report's usually the shortest one. Okay. So I didn't even pull up question and answers. Let me see what's there. Oh, I had so many documents pulled up, nothing. That happens some days. I answer 20, 30 emails and none of them make it into question and answers. I get sidetracked. My apologies for that. I will try to, Michael Snyder wrote to me. He responded more than 2 sentences. I was a little bit surprised. And emails were traded. Fire them out. See if I can gather that up and share it with you tomorrow. Okay. So let's go down to, I don't have any question and answers. I wasn't able to get any of the, I don't have any pictures for anything that's being, this report's going to be updated tomorrow. And this is the top of the, there's a long list of things, of my things to do for Cat, and things to get done for you guys. So I'm dividing my time. Looking outside the window, it's blue skies for the first time in quite some time. I'm glad that the solar panels are working and the batteries are able to do their thing. This is the top of the article. 6.1 cubit strike struck on the Black Star Southern Center Line. See, I'm not saying it's necessarily the near side Willamette quake event. It's even early. The 7.8 is early. I'm just saying that we are most certainly passing between the two stars. The 7.8 was off a little bit. This one is just about exactly on the Black Star Southern Center Line. And we're definitely passing between the two stars. So the provided some background information. One of you guys that are supporting me on Substack wanted to give you some extra, give you some background, the micro lensing information. The compacted stars can form a neutron star, a black hole, or something in between. See, it doesn't say that. This is what it says. And going through these articles again, Science Live, and the different articles here, then the thing that I'm noticing is the scientists don't know. The experts, they don't know. Like the super plume, I'll give you the picture of the super plume image and give you the link to the image. The expert, the professor, University of Arizona, he looks at the super plume and he goes, the question is, what is it? And how did it form? They don't know. There's a theory, they have theories, and when I'm going through the articles, it's talking about what this could be, this can be, this may be, because they really don't know. Humanity is in an infant state in understanding the true nature of our universe. And going by necessity, they began writing about magnetic portal connections and such in about 2008. And I read everything there was to know that I could find. Going through the research, 2011, 12, 13, 14, discovered the super plume, 2015, 16, 17, and there's just not a lot of information out there even today. So it's by observation, but by pulling myself up by the bootstraps and seeing what they shared through the documentation, and then going, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? And connecting dots and developing an understanding of what's going on with the black star. There's lots of things that I know about the black star. There's lots of things that I'm never going to know about it. I can just tell you right now. It's my view is that when the end of the age comes and they have even more 3,600 years from now, they have more sophisticated instrumentation and people live to be more than 1,000 years old, and there's people at the end of the age. The devil's going to incarnate onto the earth as a man with his Antichrist boy and their false prophet, and they're still not going to be able to know everything there is to know about the black star. There are things, and the way that I sum it up in the article is that the black star can be right in front of you, right at eye level, jumping up and down, and it's like God's wisdom. God uses this to divide times from time here in this solar system with our Earth. And people walking around the Earth, it could be right in front of you and you can't see it. So check out the article. Please support me financially if you can, if you have the resources to do so. Then the related article, the shaking felt across Tampa Bay after the earthquake. And Nancy was in across Daytona Beach, and she could feel it. But this is definitely not a regular earthquake. Felt it that far away, building shaking that far away, not along the fault line. That's the reason it was felt for so far away. I'm surprised that they kept it at a 6.1. If that energy was released along the fault line, it would likely been a lot larger magnitude. It's just out in the plate. That's where it wanted to, that's where, boom, it's where when we crossed the electromagnetic jolt that went through our planet, that's just where we were and where the jolt went through. And the black star is closer now. That could have been a really large magnitude earthquake. It struck not at the fault line. And I'm wondering if there's going to be some action on the sun that's going to that happens on the backside. I'm wondering if it's going to happen on the near side. The black star is closer now than it has been, right? So this is the way things are shaking out on the near side alignment. So that's black star news. That's kind of the headline as we're passing between this and the sun. Well, it's June 9th, and this is when the alignment was supposed to happen. This is when it's happening. Trump, we will declare total victory over Iran within 2 weeks. And for me personally, the way I just about do not believe anything that comes out of Trump's mouth anymore. It's not just me. Listen to Larry Johnson, listen to Mario, Colonel Daniel Davis, listen to any of them. And it's difficult for anyone to keep you updated on what's going on with Iran, the war, with Israel, Hezbollah. It's difficult because it's so fluid that it's changed. The headlines change, and they don't just change, daily or hourly or minute by minute. They change. They're 100 degrees. I'm sorry, 180 degrees, back and forth and back and forth. Trump is trying to manipulate the markets. He's under great stress and great pressure from the Zionist zealots. He's being pulled in different directions, and which is made kind of obvious by what's coming out of his mouth, which is talking out of one side, then double speak. That's saying one thing out of one side and the other something else out of the other. That's what we're seeing. So my recent post, that's where I go to get the truth. Whenever this reporting's done, I get my work done, get something to eat, and go and sit down and check out what's happening coming from Colonel Daniel Davis and Larry Johnson and those guys, whoever's doing something live at the last minute. That's the closest thing we're going to have. Mario getting, because he has a production team. I wish I had a production team like Mario. $133 million resources like Mario. We'd have a cave, we'd have lots of things. But he's got a team feeding him information in real time. And if you're watching his update report live, his interview live, he reads them in real time and gets the commentary from whoever he's talking to. Now that's how I'm getting it, and that's how I am expecting that you are going to get it. You're not going to get live information ever from me. I mean, just in the hour or two it takes to make the report, and then to upload the report, and by the time you see the report, it's old. Well, the Black Star update report, that information and the backside alignment stuff, that's written in stone. And you have that already. Backside alignment, June, we're going to have another cycle, and it's going to be, unless the Lord God surprises us, but I don't think so. This feels like the speed bumps, electromagnetic speed bumps we passed through the Black Star. Now we're going on the way to the backside alignment. We're going to reach outside orbital position. It's going to be September. It's going to be about September the 9th, just about September 11th. Just before September 11th, 2000. We're going to reach the 90. And then the backside limit is going to be late in the day on the 11th, early in the morning on the 12th. That's written in stone, that stuff. This war can change on a dime one way or the other. It looks like, and got my finger in the wind listening to what these guys have been telling me. It looks like that we're on the escalation ladder. What you're hearing from Trump is trying to calm the markets, to manipulate the markets for his billionaire buddies that are making millions and hundreds of millions of dollars off of it. So this is the last one that just came in. Israel issues nationwide red alert. Iranian missiles strikes continue. McGregor, one of the best sources that's out there. I like Colonel Douglas McGregor because he's going to give you the wartime, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Iran, whether it's Hezbollah, Israel, Gaza. He's going to give it all to you, and then you ask him if he gets the question, he's going to talk about the economics. Yeah, I think he's one of the best sources that's out there. He has a good feel for what's going on, and according to him, we're in trouble. And the escalation is we're going to keep going up the escalation ladder until the, the war breaks out. I mean, the war, it's already started. We're just getting a daily report on how we're getting to full-blown war. Iran and Israel ceasefire for now. See, that information is already old. It's already taken back off, which I wouldn't have known. Karen, you sent that in. I was getting ready to hit the start button, and I was ready to go to the website to close my email inbox, and the last email that came in was this link right here. I would have been reporting to you, well, things have calmed down, just according to this article right here. Nope, things have restarted again. I'm telling you, I may be reporting on the war or something, and it changed 180 degrees by the time you're hearing it from me. That's just the way that it's going to continue to be. Vance says U.S. in strong position to secure Iran deal. No, we're not. There's no wheeling and dealing. This is not. Every time you see deal, that's not how negotiations take place. First, you have to establish trust. There's no trust with Trump and his team of Israeli Zionists, religious, right-wing, neocon Zionists. There's no, and then you have on the other side the Iranians. My view, the Iranians are making backroom deals with the Arabs, and with China and Russia sitting in their corner. That's what's happening right now. They don't need Russia and China to put their heavy hand in the negotiations. But you can bet whenever the Arabs, the Saudis, that's what they should be doing. United Arab Emirates. I kind of agree with Colonel McGregor that the Iranians and the rest of the Arabs in the region, they have every reason for the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, those guys to not exist anymore. That those are propped up, they were started and built by the British. And they shouldn't be there. That in the long run, you look at this over hundreds of years, they look like temporary deals that need to end. But we'll see if they can join with Iran and with BRICS, and they can kick, as long as they're willing to kick the United States out of the region, they may survive. It's possible. That's what they have to do, though. The new big kid on the block is Iran. They have to make the adjustment rapidly, if you ask me. The United States is just going to lie, and that anything that is decided, Israel is going to step on. Well, that's it in a nutshell. It appears that there's no military solution and there's no negotiation solution either. The answer is going to have to come from Iran being more forceful and pushing the United States out of the region and BRICS coming in because BRICS, China, Russia is going to be the peacemaker. You just don't, you're seeing Iran, but that is the BRICS nation that's being supported by. So the United States, NATO, EU is fighting Russia and BRICS through Ukraine, and the same thing is happening to Iran the opposite way. China, Russia, using Iran to defeat us. They're even using Ukraine to defeat us. That's where our resources have been going. A lot of our missiles and such, we're running out of missiles. Where do you think they went? They went to Ukraine. That's all part of the plan. That's why Putin taking forever to do what he could have done in 3 days, defeat Ukraine, because he's weakening the West. Top Iranian official claims Tehran willing to negotiate. No, they're not. But the behavior must change. No, they're not. No, they're not, because the behavior is not going to change. They know it's not going to change. But they have to say this right here. Nothing is over. Iran-Israel conflict enters new phase. It's not going to be over. Iran's going to keep attacking Lebanon, even though the ground that they're striking, they cannot keep. Getting is one thing. Killing everybody that's there, wiping them out, genocide, that's one thing. Keeping it is something else. They haven't even, that's down the road somewhere. They're not going to be able to keep it. The Arabs are not going to allow them to keep it. Only, in my view, the only one that can restore the kingdom to Israel all the way to the Euphrates River is Elijah. And we're going to see that from heaven. We're not even going to be on this earth when that happens. Whoever this guy is, Ghani, I don't know how to say his name, says resistance front to form security belt from Hormuz to the Red Sea. See, this is what's going to happen. The security belt, they're going to have their own NATO. The Middle East is going to have a NATO, and it's going to be supported, defended by, guess who? Like Bretton Woods, United States, 70s, Kissinger. The defender of the region was United States. That's not going to be the case. The United States has got to leave, and it's going to be China, Russia, BRICS. That's what's going to happen. So the Arabs have to have an epiphany moment and go, oh man, that's the answer. Some of them will, maybe some of them won't. That's the way I see things shaking out. Anyway, breaking. IRGC attack U.S. bases. Expect that to continue until there's no longer any bases. And the world should learn from what's happening right here. Our base is pretty easy to take out. Missile strikes, drone attacks. Pretty easy. That's the pattern for the future. So the number, go back in history, look at Rome and look at the way that they conquered everybody. Well, that all expanded. They built roads everywhere. They pushed their armies everywhere. They controlled everything, and then it contracted. So what's happening in the Middle East is going to begin the contraction of the United States. That's going broke. Dollar hegemony, military hegemony, all that's going to go in reverse now. And Trump is going to be the linchpin for that happening. That's going to be his legacy. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. And some are concerned that he's going to play the nuclear card. We'll see. EU sanctions IRGC over maritime blockades. That is so funny. EU sanctions IRGC over blockading their territorial waters. That's the law of the whole world. 12 miles from your coast, that's yours. Anything outside 12 miles, that's international. Unless it overlaps another country, which is the case in the Strait of Hormuz, because it's 21 miles wide, right? 12 and 12 is 24. There are no international waters there. Oman and Iran, that's their territorial waters. So they could do what they want with it. Imagine any nation in the world coming within 12 miles of the coast of the United States and saying, we're going to sanction you because of what you're doing. You can't do that. There are laws. Russian Foreign Minister says, fate of war in Ukraine will be decided by the soldiers, not peace talks. Actually, my view, it's decided by the global bankster cartel. The global bankster cartel decided the outcome of World War One, World War Two, and they're gonna decide the outcome of this war too, because they finance all sides of the war. That's what's happening. Who they want to win is going to win, and the Fourth Reich is going to go down, just like the Third Reich went down. It's going to be decided by the financiers, money manipulators. Chapter 3, Undercolor Conspiracy. NATO drills aimed at practicing coordination during potential anti-Russian operation. NATO drills. So they're over there on oh, I got a wrong link there, don't I? I'll try to get that fixed. The NATO is practicing drills. So they're over there very near, I'm trying to remember what I read, the border of Russia and NATO, the EU. I'm just about to laugh. They think that they're going to practice drills and they're going to coordinate better together, and they're going to, no. What this reminds me in history, is this World War One or World War Two? The French, they saw that the Germans were coming, so they go out to their border and they dig trenches, and they're going to just get ready for the Germans, and they're going to wipe them out. No, it didn't happen that way. The Germans gassed them, and then they just flew over and took over Paris. Doesn't work that way. You're all going to be destroyed, all of you. You gather. That's why the United States cannot invade. They can't put boots on the ground. They can't do that with Iran, because they're all going to be. The Iranians, they might even let the United States put 10,000 troops on the ground. Just, you guys come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, because they're going to wipe them all out. That's not the way war is fought today. That's using World War II tactics in the 21st century. You're just asking to be destroyed. Entire UK attack submarine fleet unfit for service. That's what it looks like for the EU. That's what it looks like for Europe. They're not ready to go. If I read this properly, I had to take it off. There wasn't room for it. By 2030, if they keep working at it, then maybe they're going to be ready to go. The thing, if you're going to try to refit your old, not fit for service machinery, like these subs, bricks, what the Chinese are doing, they're building ships, they're building. What the Russians, because they're in war, they're building. But whatever you fix between that's not working properly now to get it ready for 2030, it's going to be so outdated, you're going to be decades behind. So this is the West is waning. This is just more evidence of waning Western civilization right here. Xi Jinping applauds Kim's socialist cause in warm North Korea state visit. These guys are getting along just fine. Over here, there's tens of thousands of troops of North Korean troops helping the Russians fight the Ukrainians in NATO, which is not much of Ukrainians to kill. CEO of major AI company calls for global pause in AI development to address growing threat to humanity. This has already been debated before. This is impossible. The genie's already out of the bottle. It mentions it down at the bottom. Was there enough? No, I had the one-page format ended up getting cut off. But the genie's already out of the bottle. There's nothing you can do. This is like calling a ceasefire in a battle. The Americans wanted a ceasefire in the battle because the Americans are losing. The people that want the ceasefire, that's what this is. Ceasefire. But China's not going to stop. The Russians aren't going to stop. BRICS ain't going to stop developing AI. This is the East-West thing. The the tech giants, the Googles, and they're not going to stop developing AI. They're already way ahead. They're going to use AI against you and me. They want to stop AI. They want to stop giving you and me access to AI because you and me, some 10-year-old kid likely, is going to figure out how to use AI against them. So they want to pause, but there is no way to pause. It's out. It's already out of the bottle. Humanity is about to be handed almost an unimaginable power, and it is deeply unclear whether we possess the maturity to wield it. I have very limited experience with AI, but I can see the power of it. Big time power. You have access to information. I can just sit in a chair and ask AI questions. AI has and have access to all kinds of information without having to do anything, without having to look it up on the internet, without having to go and scroll and nothing. And have AI do calculations for me and then say, okay, with that in mind, what about this? What if you apply this? And what if you do that? And AI is going to think about it for about a second and then give you, the rundown on it. And then after going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, when I do come to my computer, then I have a different set of data points that I didn't have before AI came along. I don't have to set up my desk in order to develop these different things. And that's just for me, walking around in my tennis shoes and my blue jeans, much less a team, much less AI using AI to push forward different projects. Extremely powerful, what we have available at our fingertips with AI. Brian, I'm thinking about you in particular. Those of you out there that says, "Oh, I'm not going to use AI. I'm not going to." No, it's of the devil. This and that. It reminds me of my great grandmother. That she was black as Hank Aaron. She Creek Indian, 100% pure blood Creek Indian. My grandmother was half. My grandmother looked just like Pocahontas. Any Indian movie you ever saw, she looked just as that. She was half Indian. But my great grandmother, she called herself Black Dutch because she was ashamed of being an Indian for some reason. But both my great grandfather, his nickname was Red. He worked on the railroad. I remember when he took his eye out. He had a wooden eye from losing it in the railroad. And my grandfather, John Arbor Jones, both married Indians. The Anyway, that's part of my heritage. I'm very proud of being part Indian on my mother's side of the family. The Well, doggone, I went back over there, and now I lost the thought that I was going to share with you. It was something. It had to do with AI. And my apologies for that. It was probably something. Maybe it'll come back to me. Something I wanted to share with you. Anyway, a little background information on me. The Bible Science and other sources of uncomfortable truth are now crimes in Canada and UK, and likely coming here to the United States. Maybe we will have the opportunity to have to die for our Christian values. New bill to restrict hate speech, meaning that posting or carrying a placard quoting Leviticus or other scriptures condemning queer activity, queer behavior, could possibly even claiming there are only two genders could be considered hate speech and a jailable offense. Like face palm here, just can't make this stuff up. I'm tempted to pull up the verses and read Romans chapter 1, start at 18 down to 32, where it ends. For those who practice these things are worthy, while they're worthy of death, Just very difficult to get around Romans chapter 1, starting at 18. Anyway, the right's wrong, up is down, left is right. As we get closer to the going home, to our new jobs. Related, First Nations upset that Senate rejected making residential school denialism a crime. What do you think? It seems like people ought to be able to deny whatever they want, say whatever they want. If something that I'm saying, you want to make it so offensive that I have to be locked up, there's something wrong with what you're saying, right? So what I'm saying is wrong. Everybody's got the same right to be wrong. How's that hurting anybody? But if you, especially the people in power, the government, have an agenda that is unsustainable, that is harmful to our society, they have every reason in the world to shut people up. That's what's going on in the UK right now. You know why? Because illegal aliens are running around, they're raping and murdering and everything, and when somebody stands up and says something about it, they have to be detained. They have to be called down, and if they do not respond, then they have to be locked up. That is going on in Germany, Ireland, UK, Canada, and it's trying to happen here in the United States. It's one of the reasons the United States has to be taken down, because the globalists, the extremists, the global banks cartel see the United States as an obstruction, standing in their way because of our Constitution. I mean, those people can just say anything they want. Well, that's a problem. Abolish the Fed. Remember when Trump was first coming in, 2015? I thought about looking for the quote. Talk about abolishing the Fed. Talk about a lot of things. He's not talking about them today. The root of inflation, debt, destruction of the dollar. Amen. Non-Dark Conspiracy, former Congressman Gary Allen. This is the creature from Jekyll Island. This is Griffin's book. This comes out every now and then, but it's the same thing that I've been saying. Lots of people have been saying forever and ever and ever. Anything going to end the Fed? No. Anything going to end the chemtrailing? No. The pandemics? No. Anything going to stop? No, none of it. It's all the same thing. The global base cartel, the global military-industrial complex, the global intelligence community, they're all working together under the umbrella of Project Black Star. This is part of it, right here. The Fed charging us interest on our own money. The right to print money is the Congress, is the one with the right. That was handed over to the Fed. The worst part is, I got my hand on my forehead here again, Department of Engraving, Printing, Engraving, still bears the cost. The American people, taxpayers, bear the cost of printing the money to put the Fed's name on it to then ship it to them. They don't even have to print it themselves. It's crazy. That's Mario. He's been saying it's crazy so many times. What's happening? It kind of stuck to me. Yesterday, profound geological implications of Iran strikes on Israel. Profound. Yeah, because they're killing more and more people, Arabs in particular, and trying to take more land that they can't hold. And then Hezbollah is playing tit for tat with them. Okay, links. Here's the Substack post. This is the Canadian student discovered the magnetic binary star magnetic repulsion. Then since the investigation started early on, particularly, I've worked with about a half a dozen astronomers, and some even with their own observatory, class telescopes. and the Dons was in mothballs, and he got it out just for this investigation. And in our deliberations back and forth, then he, the thing that I noticed is something that he said to me, that the mindset of a trained astronomer is to understand, fully realize that every planet, every asteroid, every comet increases orbital velocity reaching perihelion. That's the way all bodies behave. As they get closer, the Earth's the same way. January 2nd, we're going maximum velocity, just over 67,000 miles per hour. On July the 4th, coming up, we're going to be moving about 65,000 miles per hour, our slowest orbital velocity. It's going to reach a minimum, then start going up again. That's the way every object behaves, except for binary twins with this magnetic repulsion relationship. So if you have not been exposed to this concept, you are programmed to think this is impossible. This cannot exist. And it does exist. And a Canadian student discovered it. And in 2015, that's when this image was taken. The article came out in 2016. This is about the time then the Project Black Star investigation was getting full steam ahead with the most amount of help from most amount of people. And then, well, slightly before this, then I personally was gaining steam, and then was exposed through Terrell's research group, and then exposed to this information. It greatly, this is really, really important. It greatly helped me to develop the investigation. Then this is really odd to have a quake that strikes the fault lines here so far north, and there are no precursor quakes and no aftershocks. I don't know who else is noticing that. No precursor quakes, no aftershocks, just one boom, and a pretty big boom right there. Then Mr. MBB333 guy, never happened in recorded history. Then it's when Karen, when you sent me that, and then I was looking at it, and I was looking at, then I looked at the location and pulled out and looked at the fault lines, and I go, hey man, you're right. This is really something that's something. Then pull out solar system scope and go, hey, this is real close to the Black Star Sun center line. The more I looked at it, the more I'm going, man, wait a minute, there's definitely something that's going on here with this. This is that little photo, the 4-minute differential. So when you pull up Earthquake 3D like this, and you pull up this time, if you can see the Earth in the background, see when you move it a second, you see how it moves? I mean 1 minute. See how the Earth moves? How fast, how far it moves in a second? I'm sorry, a minute. See, it's moving. That's 1 minute each time I push it. So for an event to be on the Black Star center line is really difficult at the moment that the quake strikes. The other quakes in the past, even 2018, it was May the 4th. The 6.9 Hawaii quake, when it struck, the epicenter was exactly on the Black Star Sun center line. It doesn't happen every time, but it happens many, many times exactly on it. So that's why I'm saying it's just a little bit off, and that's going to happen whenever the event is between the sun and the earth. See, the Black Star Sun center line runs all the way through our planet. So the event can happen anywhere all the way around the planet. And when it's on the inside, it's difficult for me to show you the picture. That's why the Earth looks so small. So that's why I have to move the time ahead 12 hours, and then you have to subtract 2 minutes because of that differential. And I'm telling you, it's really, really close. So that's the post. These came in afterwards. Nancy wrote, so I want to try to get your permission to use your first name, no email addresses, and any location. If you think, that's going to be an issue, then I'll change it. I'll call you Alice or Nancy or something. Oh, your name is Nancy. Sally, Alice, anything. The important thing is to share the information. And I'm not making this stuff up. Nancy wrote to me at 11:37 a.m. and she wrote back and said that I don't have to edit anything. She is grateful I have had the subscriber reports from your newsletters to understand what is happening. So I've been able to prepare mentally and spiritually. So that you got the Black Star newsletter reports and the mystery reports to prepare physically and to prepare spiritually. So you can add that to you if you want, because we have another orbit cycle, and maybe my comment will help someone also to prepare and understand. That's for the benefit of you guys that I shared it and that she shared it, because you have a Dropbox folder link to access to all of the Black Star reports for a whole year for just $25. Then you have access to all the mystery reports going back to 2019 for just $25. And then that's the best way that you can support me. I'm helping you. And once you download the newsletter and it's in your email download folder, then you can attach that file to an email and send it to your family, send it to your friends, send it to somebody. Just keep the Dropbox folder link. You don't need a password. You don't need a username, because I give you my link. Just keep the link to yourself. That's what you're paying me for, and that's proprietary property. But share any of the files that are inside. That's what I hope that you will do. You're not breaking any rules doing that. And in 2012, it was $25, and it's still that today. That's just about going to McDonald's once these days. So this is the actual data. See, and you can see when you click on it, this is the history. This is the fault line. And you don't usually get one here. No historical precedent for a quake here. That's going to be in the odd quake of the week. That's it. Right there. This is Mr. MBBB. Where are we at? 102. This might be too loud. Let me see.
Well, and having a great day. Breaking news coming out of the southern Gulf of America, right here near the Yucatan Channel off the coast of Cuba. A super incredibly rare earthquake has just occurred within the last 45 minutes. It started off as a 6.4 magnitude earthquake measuring around 20 miles deep. It's since been changed by the USGS to a 6.1 magnitude earthquake at 6.2 miles deep. A very shallow, super rare earthquake. Guys, earthquakes just don't happen in this part of the world. Looking at the interactive map, this.
Yeah. He's going to say, this don't happen. And it doesn't. So when I saw that, then it Karen, if you hadn't sent me that, then I wouldn't have opened up the solar system scope to see that it's on the Black Star Sun center line. So you guys, that's why you guys are included in the post. Nancy and Karen. So that's this one here is a team effort. Appreciate you guys. Your support and sending me information. We would declare total victory. How would Trump know that? So Trump can do anything, say anything, and declare victory. The best recommendation that I'm hearing from a lot of people, the colonels and everybody else, is that he should just walk away. And then right after they say, I don't see how he can. There's no way to negotiate. Trump doesn't have even one real negotiator on any of his teams. None. And negotiating the deal with Obama and the Iranians took 2 years. Do you see Trump sitting down and taking 2 years to do anything? No. He surrounded himself with echo chamber people, and they're Zionists. If they're not, they're gone. If they start telling the truth, they're gone. That's the people that you see leaving. He's just going to declare victory. How could you even make that kind of prediction based on what you're looking at? Israel issues nationwide red alert. Now, this is, okay, let me just start this at the beginning. Hope I don't blast you out.
One thing that has been recognized in the White House is that this hasn't been working. So one is that we should extend the blockade and just go it longer. Another one is that we should just declare victory and walk away. And then a third one is, no, we need to double down on the military. And there are advocates for each one of those. I want to take a look at the one that seems to be get on the ascendancy in the White House, according to Axios. Trump rejects Iran's offer and says that the blockade will stay until there's a nuclear deal. And according to what he told Axios, Trump sees the blockade as somewhat more effective than the bombing. And the source said that he had yet to order any kinetic.
Yeah, that's not going to work. You know why? Because the world's running out of oil. We're running on empty. Trump is selling off our reserves, our emergency reserves, emptying the tank, and you can't empty the tanks. They're at the lower levels now since they first started filling the reserves. Running on empty. If we had a real emergency, there's none to take. That's what we're being pushed into. Because we are a net importer of oil. You guys know that, right? Don't listen to the lies that are coming from them. The oil that we need to make diesel comes from outside the United States. What we have makes gasoline. The light stuff from fracking. And when you don't have diesel, then your economy shuts down. Food cannot make it to market. You have to have the diesel trucks to be able to do that. So then, whenever I saw the headline about how Trump's going to declare victory, then I wanted to see what's happening at the last second. This has been updated. This is when I started. Iran war live updates. Israel strikes Lebanon after Iran and Israel pull back. Trump blames Iran for helicopter downing, says U.S. must respond. So it's peace, then it's war, then it's peace, then it's war. Then it just keeps going back and forth. Trump says no deal possible. So if I refresh this, Trump says Iran down U.S. helicopter. Yeah, vows to retaliate. I'm pretty sure that's going to say retaliate, right? Yeah, got to respond. Vows to respond. Right over, he's talking about claiming victory and a peace deal and all that. See, it goes back and forth and back and forth. Escalation ladder. They're on it. And sometimes it moves really slow. This little thing that picks up and then it'll pause and then picks up. We're on the escalation ladder though. It's happening. It seems like Trump's motivation is solely to manipulate the markets, seemingly knowing that he's about ready to go for round 2 of strikes. And whenever he does that, he's going to exhaust our missiles. We're going to be totally defenseless. China and Russia just sitting back and watching. Saying, holy cow, look, United States. What's the saying? When your enemy is defeating himself, don't interrupt him. And that's what Trump's doing. He's putting us in a position, we're going to retaliate. We're going to start using missiles. Israel and the United States are using up their missiles. When you see a big barrage, it's going to go for a few days. We're going to be out. And watch what happens then. That's like, the thing that's coming to my mind is the rats coming out at night in Lebanon. The buildings blowing up, the people trying to live in them, the rats, and they can't get the materials. And at night is whenever they come. When we run out of missiles, it's going to be like Lebanon at night. Our enemies are going to start creeping in. What? It's going to be, we're not going to be able to defend our own bases, our own installations, our radar arrays, billion-dollar radar arrays they've already destroyed. We have more of them. They're going to be destroyed too. The way that Iran is defeating the United States in the entire Middle East, that's being watched by militaries around the world. They're going to see exactly how to do it. The United States is becoming weaker every single day under Trump, and it looks like he's doing it on purpose. Russian foreign minister. These are the top articles. The threats that are growing all around us. Xi Jinping and Kim. Global pause on AI. You can't pause. You can't pause. You have to pick up the pace. Bible, science, and other sources. Uncomfortable truth. Being a prepper, being a survivalist. We're going to be characterized as hoarders. Abolish the Fed. Yeah, right. The global banks cartel. They're not. The central banks around the world are running out of the back door of the Fed right now. They're not going to abolish the Fed. Nobody's going to come along. George Washington isn't going to come along and save the day. Oh, look, the Fed. Slay the dragon. That's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. Riggers hit 200-day moving average. I haven't looked at the prices. If they hit the 200-day moving average, that means that silver's being pushed down. Maybe they're 62 is the floor. Get out now. Goldman warns. One ETF could trigger a market meltdown. Yeah, they're all chained together. The ships in the harbor. The Fed may be walking into another mistake. That's not a mistake. The Fed is going to destroy the system. They're going to destroy the dollar on purpose. The global banks cartel is using the Fed to destroy the dollar to get you on the central bank digital currencies. That's the overview, the 3,000-foot view, 30,000-foot view. That's what they're doing. Fiat dollar. Faith confidence could evaporate overnight. Yeah, I hope it. I'll be reading that paragraph tomorrow. And the fiat dollar under attack. You guys that are holding your fiat dollar, you're holding onto it for dear life, you're going to lose everything. Getting it into survival-related commodities has been the answer all along. Last time the S&P did this, the market crashed 20% in a day. These ladies, at the end of every video, are going to tell you, get your hands on your gold and silver. Get out of the fiat dollar. Catherine Austin Fitts, one of my favorite ladies in the whole wide world. The digital surveillance state big tech is building could surpass China's social credit system. The prison state is here already. You're already a member of the prison. You're an inmate of the prison state right now. If you're not on the regimen, you're plugged into the prison state matrix. Get on the regimen. Stay on the regimen. You're not thinking clearly. Trump's manipulating the markets. This just refreshed. He's able to push the markets down. Look, in the 80s. Holy cow, look at that. So his buddies are buy. And then by the weekend, whichever way they decide to go, they push it up, they push it down. They push it down, the people buy. They push it up, the people sell. The buy, the sell. They're going back and forth, back and forth. Right now, since this is going down, that means that the market is believing the lies. Dow Jones. Flat. Smelled like yesterday. See what's doing 5 days. Flat. The 5 days, not even a percent move. Manipulation. It's oh, the price of silver. 65 smackaroonies. What'd I tell you? 62 is the bottom. I mean, it's the floor. 68 down to 65, down $4. No, 4%. I'm sorry, almost $3. So the floor is 62 is being tested. If it pushes through that, it could go to 52. If you have the resources, keep an eye on it. It's being pushed down. The shorts are that they're creating the opportunity to get out of their short position right here. $65. There's a $3 differential in the COMEX. No, 65. Oh, yeah. The floor that I see is 62. That's what's being tested right now with the 65 right here. We'll see if the riggers are going to push it down beyond that. If the next drop below that is just above 50. So they have it down to 65 right now. 71. See this premium right here is dropping. The differential between Shanghai and the Western spot. It's below 10%. Remember, it was up 13, 14, 15% there for a while. Gold down to 2%. So the ratio is going up. Is it above 65? Yep, just barely above 65 right now. If I had gold, I'd be putting it into silver. 952-213-8930. If you're in fiat dollars, if you have a lot of fiat dollars, this is your guy right here. 952-213-8930. Justin. Terrell Croft told me you can get me into some small denomination silver. See if he has walking liberties. That's my favorite. They're rounds. They look a lot like silver eagles. If not, buffalo rounds. Extremely. That's the lowest spot price. You get the most bang for your buck. So that whenever you're bartering on the other side of the collapse, then you get more of the silver rounds. This is the spreadsheet. They're sold out of a lot of gold. You can get one of these. You get the latest one. Just go to that page that I just showed you. I don't see any big uptick in the hantavirus deal. We're waiting for to see if activation happens with the World Cup. That's what we're watching for. Binary activation day is coming. You hear about activation day every now and then. I hope you'll wake up, get on the regimen. Nanosilver sodium borate, that's what I'm on. And I'm staying on it for the duration, no matter what. This is how to mix, use, and store your nanosilver. Friday morning, 8 a.m. Have your order in. Everybody gets copies of my book, The Mystery Explained. The EPUB version and the Kindle version, free. Attach your notification email. Subscribe at Substack, you get a free Mr. Port subscription. Dropbox folder link, access to all the newsletters. Free. EMP Shield, protect your vehicle, your house, your backup power. Get your nano silver on, your shield on for you and for your house. Get your EMP Shield on. The solar wind speed just a little bit above normal, just above normal too on the density. What's coming off the sun. Popular Lake closes after all the fish die. This is going on in Arizona, the Chattahoochee River. They have a Chattahoochee River in Florida. Largemouth bass, black crappie, bluegill, channel catfish, flathead. 158 miles of shoreline holds state records for largemouth bass. You know, the largemouth bass record in Minnesota is just over 7 pounds. That's a baby. Further south you go, the bigger they get. Go down to Mexico, you get the giants. But in Florida, the biggest our family caught was 13 pounds. We all had bass on the wall. We're all fishermen in my family. Stephon Burns, 6.1 Cuba, just shook Florida hard. That was not a normal quake. Chile warning. One of the South America's most dangerous volcanoes is stirring. Well, we're nearest to the Black Star, magnetic portal connection shortest. This is whenever I expect the geologists to really be freaking out. But I'll be able to report soon, well, a month or so. We're moving away from the Black Star, and the seismic volcanic values are going to go down, down, down rapidly. And Black Star is close. So we're going to see if we've moved beyond the threshold. If so, it's going to look like we're still moving toward the Black Star. Every cycle previous so far, down, 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 down. If this is the last cycle, maybe we're beyond that threshold. Don't know yet. UK encryption backdoor could hit US data. Britain's quiet encryption powers may now reach the phones of Americans who never agreed to them. The backdoors software. Backdoors, like Bill Gates, DOS, backdoors into everything that every operating system, every Windows operating system, all have backdoors. We're all vulnerable. Just suppose that there's somebody looking over your shoulder every time that you use just about any device. Northern Ireland horror. Man arrested after apparent beheading attempt. And I just want to say my apologies right off the bat. There's some pretty gross stuff that's in here. Belfast. When you open your borders and you just let the people flood in, then you get what you get. Bend over, take the medicine. Here's thousands march in Berlin demanding MERS step down. Snap elections, tighten immigration controls. It's too late, man. You had to do something about this a lot sooner. Here in the United States, too late. Way, way, way too late. Once you let so many illegals in, we have 40 to 50 million here already, then you get the chain migration. They're going to find their way. They come over on visas. They come right in the front door, smile at you. They have a guest visa. And they just come and stay. It's too late. We're way beyond being able to do anything. Think Holman's going to go get them because they overstayed their visa? No. They have to get on the worst of the worst list. Pretty easy to stay off the worst of the worst list. Father whose daughter was murdered, Palestinian illegal alien foreign national, asked mourning victims of illegal immigration is now right-wing extremist. That was a long... It's because of the way that the laws, his daughter, and he wants to say something about it to help other people from getting killed, other people from losing their daughters, and he's afraid of being arrested for speaking up. And you should be. Moroccan immigrant arrested after raping an autistic minor in bathroom. Spanish. They literally bend over, take the medicine. You have illegals coming in, they're flooding in, and they want to make, what was the number? They want to make 500,000 of them legal. Just say, you don't have to go nowhere, you don't have to re-sign up, just come down here, sign your name, and you're going to be legal. Well, that opens the door to every other illegal wanting their amnesty. And then you get hundreds of thousands of people that feel entitled with an entitlement complex, and they feel like that you owe them. Italy, Polish model beaten and nearly gang raped in Milan before being rescued by an Italian man. Thank God for the people that stand up for the other people. Because many times horrific things are happening and people would stand by. People would be taking selfies and taking pictures and stuff instead of helping. This is unheard of. Police officers go on strike following PSG riots. Will only perform emergency services. So you have no-go zones on Paris. This is happening more and more. This is getting worse and worse, like a cancer inside our big blue cities, and it's just spreading everywhere. No-go zones where the police won't even go, and then this right here. So they'll just tell you, we're not coming. And if it's an emergency, then okay. Otherwise, FedEx report and send it in. Mamdani says soccer would not exist without immigrants. Can't make this stuff up. And of course, he's talking about illegal alien foreign nationals because he doesn't know the difference between legal and illegal immigration. Over ICE concerns in New York for the World Cup. Yeah, can't have law enforcement around here. Federal judge strikes down Trump $100,000 fee on H-1B visa workers. Makes me wonder if Trump was serious in the first place. To go back in the history, Trump's hotels, they use illegals, H-1Bs. They're as guilty as anybody of displacing U.S. citizens from jobs. Then you notice they won't shut up about this guy, Platner, and his tattoo. They won't shut up about him. I don't need to know more about him. He's the poster child. You know why? My view, his Nazi tattoo. The Fourth Reich is using him to desensitize the whole population of Nazi tactics being used right now. He's the poster child used by the Trump administration to desensitize those on the right. They think that bashing the left is going to make the right any better. And for me, it doesn't work on me. Maybe it will on people that are being desensitized. Trump DOJ announces largest ever effort to denaturalize U.S. citizens accused of immigration fraud or concealing serious crime. To denaturalize U.S. citizens accused of immigration fraud. What about 45, 50 million illegal alien foreign nationals that are out there? He's talking about the people that actually came in the front door. Tim Walz and AG Keith Ellison knew 6 years, for 6 years, longer than that. That's what they can prove. Rampant Minnesota fraud, but said nothing in order to keep Somali votes. You think it was to keep Somali votes? Corruption is everywhere. They're not saying anything because corruption is everywhere. Everyone they're working with, up and down the food chain. Nobody can step out of line and say anything. That would expose everybody. The whole thing is corrupt. Republican Steve Hilton, we'll see. We'll see. I really like him. He was my Saturday night go-to. Was Saturday night? No, that was the FBI, former FBI. His name's not coming to my mind. He was the Sunday night guy. Everybody got run off. Tucker Carlson, he got run off. I liked him. And what's his name? The Saturday night guy. They got rid of him and Hilton all about at the same time. Why are you distracted? Bill Gates-backed scientists unveil universal vaccine for viruses that haven't emerged yet. Because they're in the lab. The SARS series, the biological weapon SARS-1, SARS-2, they're nanosilver based, the real vaccine. All that work was completed, from what I can tell, around 2004. 2014, 15, 16, Wuhan, that was all smokescreen. All of it. They created a paper trail to throw off the investigators later in the timeline. All that work was completed earlier, just after 9/11 inside job. They're going to play the pandemic card again, for sure. Steven Spielberg says, Disclosure Day will leave Christians questioning their faith in God. Don't let it. I've been sprinkling the truth about Disclosure Day throughout my reports to get you guys ready. This is going to happen. What you're seeing here, they're going to disclose, and there's going to be plenty of evidence. Reptilians, amphibious races, and spaceships, and they have the bodies. All of them are not actual races. Some of them are drones. So I'm giving it to you a little bit at a time. They've been here for millions of years. When Elijah gets here, he's going to call them all out, and they're going to the mop-up operation from the meltdown of the power plants when the Black Star leaves to get ready for the day of the Lord. That's going to happen. Don't be surprised. Don't be shocked. They're inside the earth. They're going to come out. They have spaceships. One spaceship could destroy the whole planet and everybody in it. We'll push one button. So don't be get ready. If you have to, get ready for it. It's not going to surprise me at all. I'm expecting it. Endless displacement. Yeah, the lights. This is the rat one right here. They don't do video every day. But man, this one right here, the one with the tanks, it was this one right here. The night strikes target Israeli troops with the drones and everything. That's the one that I checked out over the weekend. I thought it was older than that. Anyway, seeing the drones and killing the tanks and stuff like that, that made me want to see more what's coming from these people right here. Pretty good reporting. The Enforcer. Iranian cities explode. Israel strikes back. I've never been able to sit through an entire video, but what I've seen, that's some really great reporting. Glenn Deason, 41 minutes ago. He interviews a lot of the same people. See the professor? A lot of the same people. Professor. Sean Fu. I used to show. Oh, I think he's back in the lineup. He's been doing some pretty good work connecting the dots together. I haven't refreshed these pages. Oh, this is where I spend time in the evening. Karen, really, really good. We lost another Apache helicopter. Hezbollah infiltrates Israel. Oh, it looks like they have an incursion. So I haven't caught up on all that. If you listen to Trump and you think the World War III is going to end anytime soon, then I have some swampland for you. There's a professor. He's getting ready to be interviewed by Colonel Daniel Davis back from his vacation. He's popping again on all cylinders. Then Nima, really, I like him too. And I like this guy too. So I'm expecting you guys are this is the channels that I use. Keep up. Here's Karen again. Really great perspectives. I live in my car. More and more people live in their car every day in America. People are losing hope. So I haven't refreshed these. This is what was up this morning. Be ready for what's coming to America in the months ahead. That's what I'm trying to do. Help you guys be ready. Looks like we're going to have another orbit cycle. Prepper toolkit. I've got several. Lots of toolkits, different kinds. Redacted. Freemasons, demonic forces, CIA controlled Washington, D.C. Yeah, CIA is a pimple on the butt of the Council on Foreign Relations. That's a world mafia that CIA works to emulate, if you ask me. The FBI tries to be the CIA inside the United States. They're all monsters, if you ask me. A few good guys among them. There's no return. It's already begun. I wasn't able to see any of these. The war drags on as Trump threatens to walk away from Israel. That's not going to happen. You're looking at the smoke screen. Trump is not going to walk away from Israel. He can't. He's being manipulated. If Trump even tried, maybe he just tells us stories when he gets up in front of the camera. Maybe it's going to look like that. Remember how he was walking away from Elon Musk and he's walking away from Netanyahu and he's walking. That's a game. It's not real. There's somebody being manipulated. They think they can manipulate by seeing that headline to make them to do what they want. There's no way that Trump could walk away. If he did, he would be either exposed, the Epstein files and all that, or JFK. He's stuck. There's no way that he can get out. The worst mistake you ever made. Do not do this. No idea what he's talking about. I haven't seen that yet. But this guy, he's really smart. Really, really good. They're coming after the American trucker next. That's not going to be very difficult because he won't be able to make ends meet. He's not going to be able to afford diesel. He's not going to be able to make his pick up. The people that employ him won't be able to pay him more. Everybody's margins are being cut. Interest rates go up. The lines of credit get lowered, and they can't afford the diesel to make the run to pay it off at the end of the month. And then there's no diesel, even if they had the money. So we have bottleneck after bottleneck. You better best be prepared with your food, your fuel, and everything ahead of time. Iran 6 hours ago. Iran in game. Why I've been so quiet lately. Okay. I'm going to be checking this one out later. After you listen to the commentators, the war, the colonels and everything, it's good to get a perspective, in my view, from a survivalist. Shared this yesterday. Master Wong, extremely dangerous man. What's this one? Brad, Iran's nuclear surprise. Intelligence agencies are scrambling for answers. Brother, I'm not buying that. They're generally ahead of the game. It's just what you are seeing. They're making us believe that. Trump's on the alert. This 3-minute military drill shows if you're ready for Peanut Butter at the Fan. I think it would take more than 3 minutes for me to get clarity on that. So I'm still prepping. I hope you guys are still prepping. Chances are that you're, like Brian said, and that I confirmed, resources are diminishing. That's a fact. And our ability to prepare on this orbit cycle is going to get more difficult as we go along. Things are getting worse and worse and worse. People are going to become more and more desperate all around us. We're going to be hearing of things happening to people that we know, people that they know, things that happen to friends of our family members. It's going to, and then the circle is going to keep coming closer to us until it affects us. Dangers, threats, growing all around us. So keep prepping. Situational awareness, extremely important. Keeping up with these updates, seeing what's happening, that's on the horizon. And then when you're in your environment, whether it's Wally World, which you go into the store, be aware of what's happening in your environment. Really important. Identify threats, create your contingencies, execute your plan before the peanut butter hits the fan. And before I let you go, Nano Silver orders, take advantage of the special while it's still running. Get extra Nano Silver when you order now, and have your order in by 8 a.m. Central Time on Friday. And you should have Nano Silver in your hand by Monday and Tuesday of the next week inside the United States. That's it. Appreciate your support again. Get more information right here at Terrell03.com. Keep your eye on Terrell.substack.com. And I'll see you on the full Earth Change report that's coming out tomorrow.